Welcome back to Silverstone Shooting Centre. I'm John Thorne, and here in our second programme about practical shooting. Now, I said in the previous programme what we're trying to do is give some tips and some helpful ideas to people new to practical shooting, and some training ideas as well which they can take up on the range. Technically you could do a lot of these in your bedroom, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend it, certainly with a loaded gun. Here I'm in our 50 metre range, and what I'm going to do now is what we're going to do is traversing and barrier obstacle avoidance. There's lots of names for it. The main thing about practical shooting is that you are literally dynamic. You are walking around the gun, running around the gun, and you are having to aim normally around objects, over objects, behind objects to try and see where the targets are to shoot them. So being very spatially aware of your rifle is a crucial part of the actual sport we have. So, most important thing about practice shooting, gun's pointing down range at all times. So I'm running around the range and I'm moving the rifle. Okay, in the training we have these, we run around with the gun, go around things, so to get used to the idea of it. But this is going to be kind of hard for you to do at your local range because it means you're running across other people's shooting positions, so I don't recommend it unless of course you're there on your own. But the idea behind this is to give you an idea of the kind of movement you'll need to use as the answer. So this little short exercise, all I'm going to do is I'm going to be running around and shooting either side of this post that's here. Okay, so I'm going to shoot, going to traverse around it and shoot again, and then go back and do the same process. Now the idea behind this is it's giving me the muscle memory again of going down, up and moving the rifle around in a safe environment, but obviously keeping it pointed down range while at the same time shooting from targets. So really it's an awareness type thing, and again I'll be saying this all through the programs, muscle memory, remembering how to do it is going to be a better process behind you. Again, range is empty, gun is currently empty as well. I've got my eyes and my ears on, so what I'm going to do is do a couple of details around here just to see the process so you can see what I'm trying to do. Alright? Well, as you can see, sometimes you get stoppages in these things. And again, useful thing to note, if you have a stoppage on a course of fire when you're shooting practical, tough luck. You don't get someone saying, oh sorry, my gun wouldn't work. You just carry on. Break the action, get rid of it, onto another one. But you can see what I'm trying to do there is obviously the idea of keeping that muzzle always going down and going safe, and never any time am I going to hit the barrier. I'm going round it each time. Now in isolation, you will get courses of fire that will do that, where you'll go round and about, but it's really useful to get used to the idea that your gun is in and out of your shoulder and it's in and around process behind it. You'll also notice as you go through the programs that the gun comes out of your shoulder reasonably quickly and reasonably regularly in practical shooting. Okay, not all like Call of Duty where we're wandering around constantly on the whole process. Okay, the reason why is that the things we're shooting aren't going to shoot back. It's all about getting accuracy as fast as you can, and also running with a rifle in your hands is significantly quicker than running in your shoulder. I'll go through some other things, process behind it. But first, this little short program was actually the idea of going around the gun, back, forward, and also notice where the muzzle is pointing. You'll be careful. If I have a wide stance and my muzzle goes down, there is a risk that I could sweep my own foot. So you've got to make sure you keep it at no more than about a 45-degree angle. Okay. Another exercise which ties in with this nicely, and hopefully the video will pick it up, is traverse shooting. So we're going across the range, taking the shooting targets as you go. Now for practice purposes, there's no covering up, I can shoot them all from here. But for the purposes of practice, what you're trying to do is, again, traversing back and forth with the rifle and getting used to the process behind it. Now again, from a process perspective, when I'm looking at a gun, it is easier for me to run forward. I'm shooting left-handed because obviously that's my position. My left hand, my left eye especially, is open, so I'm more spatial awareness. The same also applies when you're shooting, when you're sweeping from target to target. Normally, on shooting, you go where the recoil lends you. So for example, if I was shooting a full bore shotgun or a rifle, the recoil will push the rifle to my left if I'm shooting left-handed. So when you're sweeping targets, you tend to start with the right, and literally the recoil will take you along. Now with mini rifle and .22 generally, there is no recoil specifically. So generally the opposite is true. The reason why is if you imagine you're on a dot, both eyes are open, your right eye is going to the right hand side. So your ability to pick up the target is better with the right eye. Obviously your left eye is on the dot, you don't have the same spatial awareness to the right hand side. So generally in shooting mini rifle, I shoot left to right as a left-handed shooter, and if I'm shooting right to left, I go the other way. It's a recoil thing. So what I'll do is I'll just do some traversing back and forth from here, shooting various targets that are in front of us now, and ideally, hopefully no more stoppages if I can help it, but if it happens, it happens. Alright. Well, there you go, out of ammo. So let's learn that mistake. But the idea is to traverse back and forth with the gun, obviously back on target each time. So the idea here is to get used to the idea of moving with the gun sideways. We'll do forward later on. Okay, these are things you can try on your range. Obviously check with your range, with the range owners and the club regulations what you can try and do. But really it's about getting moving on the gun and getting used to it, and remembering that pointy end's the bad end. Keep that pointing down range in a safe position at all times. You won't get disqualified. Okay, hope that's useful. Next program, I don't know what I'm doing actually. Probably something different. Thanks for watching. As ever again, hit subscribe. Any comments down the bottom, happy to hear them, good or bad. Alright.